Hey, Summer here from Pretty Bird Kitchen, and today I'm going to show you how to make nettle tea. Now, I've been drinking nettle tea for about 3 or 4 years now, and it really helps with my indoor allergies. I have really bad indoor allergies, dust, pet dander from my 4 cats. All those really get my allergies stirred up, so I always have runny nose, itchy eyes, sneezing like crazy, but nettle tea really helps with that. So I drink about 6 ounces of nettle tea in the morning and 6 ounces in the evening, and my allergy symptoms are gone. So really works great. Nettle tea can also help with outdoor allergies too. I don't personally have outdoor allergies, but I have a friend who does, and she swears by nettle as well. So anyway, today we're going to be making nettle tea, and it's really easy, and it actually tastes really good too. For the first step, we're going to gather our ingredients and some supplies. So first thing you'll need, nettle tea leaves. So I bought these nettle leaves from Amazon. I used to get them from Mountain Rose Herbs, but I think at the time that I needed some more nettle leaves, they might have been out of stock, so I just bought a bag of organic nettle leaves from Amazon, and I've been pretty pleased with them. So anyway, I bought a big, I think this is a 1 pound bag, 1 pound bag of nettle leaves. So yeah, I'll be sure to include a link to that on Amazon for you. We'll need that. We'll need some flavored tea bags. I like the Celestial Seasonings Zinger teas, and that's a mouthful. I really pick and choose. So like this one is the wild berry flavor. I've had the raspberry flavor, the lemon flavor. I've mixed and matched. Really, they're all good. They add a nice flavor to your final nettle tea. And then we need 1 lemon. And I've already boiled my water. And since we're going to be making this tea in glass mason jars, I like to bring my water to a boil and then let it sit for a few minutes, just so I don't have any problems with my glass cracking and exploding, because we don't want any burns. Alright, so to get started, we're going to add about 2/3 of a cup of nettle leaves to one of our quart mason jars. You can really play around with the amount of nettle leaves you use. I've used anywhere from a ½ cup to a full cup, and I found that about 2/3 is plenty for me. It works great for my allergies. So just play around, see how much you need for your particular situation. So that's what's going to go in one jar. In our other jar, we're going to put 4 of the Zinger tea bags. So 1, 2, 3, 4. They're going to go in there. And then we're just going to fill these jars with hot water. Again, not boiling. We don't want these babies to crack. And I will say that has happened to me before, so I speak from experience. Kind of go slowly too. Maybe I'm just a little gun shy, but I like to give the jars a chance to kind of heat up. That way it's not a shock, cold jar, hot water, and brittle glass. So anyway, we're just going to swirl these around a little bit. Make sure everything, all the leaves get nice and soaked, and then fill up the rest of the way. Alright, now once these are filled up, we're going to let them sit. The one with Zinger tea, this jar only needs to sit for about 6 minutes, much longer than that, and you get kind of a bitter flavor from the tannins in the tea leaves. So we're just going to let this one sit for 6 minutes, and then I will take out the tea bags. So we're going to set that aside. Now this one, we're going to let him hang out for anywhere from 8 hours to overnight. We really want to give the leaves plenty of time to infuse all of this water with all of their allergy fighting goodness. So normally I would just put a I would put a lid on this loosely. You don't need to screw it on or anything like that. Just lay a lid over it so that way the steam can escape, and just sit it on the counter all day or overnight, and you don't have to worry about it until you're ready to, mix all of your teas together. So we're going to set that aside. And it just so happens these are our final teas, so that way I can show you the next step. So what we're going to do now is take a 2-quart pitcher. You can use this kind of pitcher. You could use a half-gallon mason jar if you would rather use something that's glass and not plastic. I'm alright with this, so we're just going to use this. So what we're going to do is pour both of these teas into this pitcher. This is the wild berry Zinger tea, and as you can tell, I did take out the when I made this one, I did take out the tea bags after about 6 minutes, and then I just let it hang out until it was about room temperature, and then I put it in the refrigerator for the rest of the time while this one was still steeping. All right, now for this one, remember it's got a lot of leaves still in here, so what we're going to do is take a fine mesh strainer. If you have one, that's great. I prefer using a nut milk bag. It's got a very fine weave and it can catch a lot of tiny tea particles. So use what you got, but eventually you might want to invest in a nut milk bag. They're very handy. So we're just going to secure that over the rim of the pitcher and just kind of like hold it in place so that way it doesn't, fall down into the pitcher. So we're just going to pour our other tea into the pitcher. Kind of swirl it, that way the leaves don't all get stuck down in the bottom. Alright. Just going to gather this up and squeeze out some of the liquid. You don't want to squeeze too hard because then you're going to be squeezing out like the bitter tannins. We don't want that. I'm just going to put that in a bowl and dry off my hands. Alright, so we've got our teas in there. It didn't quite make 2 quarts, so I'm just going to add a little more water to fill it up to the 2-quart line. This is just filtered water. Alright, that should be good. Now we're going to add some lemon. I've just got a pretty good sized lemon here. I'm just going to cut him in half and use my lemon squeezer to get the juice out. I like a whole lemon, but you could use less if you don't really like a strong lemon flavor. And I do like adding lemon. I mean, I guess you wouldn't have to, but I just think it has a better flavor when you add some lemon to it. It kind of cuts down on maybe the salty flavor of the nettle leaves. If you've never had straight nettle tea, it's kind of bad. It has a very salty flavor, and it's just, I mean, I drank it straight for probably a year and it was doable, but then I figured, hey, let me just add some Zinger tea, try to make it a better flavor, and then one day I just decided to add lemon too, and that's been my favorite combination so far. So that's just the way I always make it. So we're going to take a wooden spoon and stir that together. Get all that lemon juice incorporated. And that's your nettle tea. Like I said, I normally drink about 6 ounces in the evening, 6 ounces in the morning. There's no hard and fast rules. You could drink that all throughout the day if you wanted, or if you have very severe allergies, you could drink more as needed. As far as I know, there aren't any contraindications for nettle tea. A lot of people have great success with it, and I've never heard of anybody having any weird side effects from nettle tea. But if you think you have a specific condition that you want to make sure is okay to have nettle tea with, Google is your best friend. So just see what you can find on that if you're concerned about drinking nettle tea. But I've been drinking it for years. My mom's been drinking it for years. My friend with the outdoor allergies, she actually takes the nettle capsules, and I've used those too. They're pretty good, but by far it's cheaper just to make nettle tea, and it tastes good. So that's how you make nettle tea. All right, I'll catch you next time.